Welcome back to Zodiac Talks Tarot, the corner of the universe where astrology takes off its glitter jacket, psychology pours the tea, and common sense joins the conversation wearing monk robes and a smirk. I'm your longtime researcher, part philosopher, part skeptic, part cosmic therapist, and today, my adventurous Sagittarius souls, we are talking about something that might make even your free-spirited hearts skip a beat. The title says it all, your biggest financial miracle happens in 48 hours. Yes, you heard that right. Not next month, not next year, but within 2 rotations of the Earth. Before you roll your eyes and accuse the universe of clickbait, take a deep breath. Not the shallow kind you do when someone tells you to relax, but the kind that makes your ribs expand like you're inhaling the galaxy itself. Because what we're diving into today isn't a fantasy or a lucky guess, it's an intersection of astrology, psychology, and divine timing. It's about understanding why your life, especially your financial life, has felt like it's been stuck in a cosmic waiting room reading outdated magazines. Sagittarius, you are not late. You are being launched. You, the Zodiac's fearless archer, were never meant to crawl toward destiny. You were meant to be catapulted into it. But lately, it's felt like someone pressed pause on your movie. You've been hovering midair, all potential and no landing. You've poured your passion into projects, shared your wisdom with the world, and somehow, your bank account still hasn't gotten the memo that you're brilliant. You've looked at those numbers and thought, really, universe? That's it. Not out of greed, but out of confusion, because the math of your effort doesn't seem to add up. You've done the work, healed the wounds, burned the sage, paid the bills, and still, the return has been underwhelming. Here's the thing most people don't realize, the universe doesn't pay on human schedules. You've been in what I call a divine holding pattern. Not punishment, not delay, preparation. The cosmos isn't saying no, it's saying, not yet, the runway's not clear. You see, a Sagittarius dream is never small. You don't wish for pocket change, you aim for legacy. And when the universe prepares a miracle of that magnitude, it makes sure your foundations can hold the weight. Imagine giving a toddler a winning lottery ticket. They'd probably try to eat it. The universe wasn't about to let that happen to you. It's been strengthening your emotional muscles, your faith, your patience, because the magnitude of what's coming requires maturity to handle it. You've been trained for expansion, not exhaustion. The frustration, the waiting, the feeling like you're being tested, those were not cosmic jokes at your expense. They were rehearsals. The universe doesn't just drop abundance into your lap, it checks whether you can carry the responsibility that comes with it. Think of this as cosmic weight training. You've been lifting invisible challenges, and now you're about to discover that you're stronger than you realized. And now, Sagittarius, the air is shifting. You can feel it in your bones, that subtle vibration before a breakthrough, that sense that something's aligning, even if you can't yet name it. The winds you've been waiting for? They've changed direction, and they're now at your back. You're no longer the archer standing still, you're the arrow being released. The energy that once felt stalled is suddenly in motion. And yes, it's pointing toward your material world, the money, the opportunities, the projects that once seemed frozen in time. But here's the beautiful irony, your miracle won't just be financial. It's psychological, spiritual, karmic. You're not just receiving money, you're receiving permission. Permission to stop apologizing for wanting freedom. Permission to step into abundance without guilt. Permission to believe that stability doesn't make you boring, it makes you unstoppable. The universe isn't just cutting you a check, it's rewriting your identity. You're moving from survival to expansion, from scarcity to serenity. And because this is Sagittarius we're talking about, the universe couldn't resist adding a bit of humor. The timing of this breakthrough will probably make you laugh. It'll arrive right after you've stopped obsessing about it, right after you've said, "You know what? I'm done trying to control everything." That's when it happens. The phone rings. The email lands. The message appears. It'll feel like cosmic irony at its finest. You'll shake your head and think, "Of course. The moment I let go, it shows up." Congratulations, you've just mastered the first law of manifestation: stop chasing and start allowing. So, as you listen today, remember this: you are not being punished for your optimism. You're being promoted because of it. This so-called delay was the universe making sure your wings were strong enough for altitude. You've outgrown the waiting room. You're boarding the flight. And the destination? Financial freedom, creative expansion, and the kind of peace that can't be taxed. The 48-hour countdown has already begun, Sagittarius, and this time, the arrow isn't just aimed at wealth. It's aimed at wholeness. Let's talk about this so-called miracle everyone keeps whispering about. Not the kind that falls from the sky wrapped in glitter, but the grounded kind that shows up in your email, your bank balance, or that unexpected phone call that makes you suddenly sit up a little straighter. For Sagittarius, money has never been about greed or status, it's about freedom. Money to you is simply the fuel that keeps your curiosity alive, the permission slip to keep chasing sunsets across different continents, the quiet nod from the universe that says, "Go ahead, you've earned this chapter." You don't dream of yachts or vaults full of gold, you dream of funding meaning, the book that still lives in your notes app, the cause you once said you'd champion when you finally had the means, the one-way ticket to a place that feels like truth. For the philosopher of the Zodiac, cash flow is just another form of energy flow, and in the year of triumph 2025, that flow is about to surge like a long-awaited tide. This is not a fluke, not a cosmic prank, it's a realignment between your purpose and your prosperity. The universe is preparing to reward not only your effort but your outlook, the way you've insisted on seeing light when others gave in to the dark. Think back to the idea that no one believed in, the proposal you sent that went unanswered, the vision that fizzled because the world wasn't ready. Sagittarius, the wheel has turned, and the world has caught up to your foresight. What once looked like failure was simply an early release, too ahead of its time to be appreciated then, but perfect for this moment now. The boomerang effect is in motion. Every no from your past is curving through the air, coming back dressed as a yes with interest. Call it karma, call it quantum cause and effect, or just call it overdue cosmic bookkeeping. You're not being gifted something random, you're receiving a payout long earned. Life is not throwing you a bone, it's balancing a scale. And that brings us to what I like to call cosmic economics, the quiet but relentless bookkeeping of the universe. Every act of generosity, every joke you used to lift a heavy room, every time you stayed kind when cynicism would have been easier, it all got recorded somewhere. The universe doesn't pay weekly, it doesn't even pay quarterly, but when it does, the transfer is life-altering. Think of it as a ledger of light, a karmic savings account you've been unknowingly funding for years. You've been depositing laughter, wisdom, empathy, courage, and soon, the interest matures. This upcoming financial miracle is not abstract, it's not motivational fluff. It's the physical translation of all that invisible good you've been exporting to the world. When I say the universe is preparing to bless you, I don't mean it's suddenly decided you're its favorite. The universe doesn't play favorites, it plays frequencies. And for too long, you've been trying to manifest abundance while tuned to survival. You've been running an outdated operating system built on scarcity and hustle, constantly telling yourself that peace comes after achievement. But something subtle has shifted. Somewhere between your last disappointment and your most recent surrender, you stopped forcing and started allowing. You stopped chasing opportunities that required you to shrink to fit. And that, Sagittarius, is when the cosmos started rearranging its schedule for you. You're no longer hustling for crumbs, you're magnetizing entire feasts. This isn't a temporary raise in vibration, it's a system upgrade. You're evolving from chasing money to attracting momentum, from counting coins to cultivating flow. When you move with integrity and faith, the universe doesn't reward you with luck, it rewards you with alignment. This is karmic economics at its finest. The moment you stop begging for proof, the proof arrives. Now, let's talk about timing, specifically, the kind that makes even the most logical Sagittarius raise an eyebrow. Within the next 48 hours, something is going to happen. I know, it sounds dramatic, like one of those late-night infomercials for enlightenment, but stay with me. A synchronicity is brewing. A phone call. A message. A casual comment that sounds too specific to be coincidence. You'll catch it, because it'll carry your signature frequency, part freedom, part mischief, part divine timing. You might be tempted to dismiss it as random. Don't. The universe loves disguises, and sometimes the most extraordinary blessings show up looking like spam. So here's your mission, Sagittarius, and yes, I know you hate homework, but humor me. Check your messages. Answer that unknown number. Read that email before deleting it. Life doesn't always announce itself with trumpets, sometimes it whispers through digital notifications. The universe doesn't text from your contact list. It slides into your reality uninvited but right on time. When that door opens, and it will, don't stop to calculate, analyze, or make a pros/con list. That's not your style anyway. Just walk through it. Adventure never waits for permission, and neither should you. The chosen ones, the souls who trust their calling even when the road looks absurd, recognize miracles not by how polished they appear, but by the unmistakable feeling in their gut. You'll know it because it'll feel like a spark running through your body, a laugh that comes out of nowhere, a sense that something just clicked. Now, I know your skeptical side might say, "Alright, universe, prove it." And that's fine, humor is your armor. Just remember that your laughter doesn't block miracles, it invites them. In fact, Sagittarius, you are proof that humor is a sacred form of faith. You're the one sign that can look at chaos, raise an eyebrow, and say, "Fine, if this is my lesson, at least make it interesting." And the universe always obliges. So as the next 2 days unfold, treat reality like it's conspiring in your favor, because it is. Be alert, but not anxious. Be ready, but not rigid. You've been preparing for this longer than you know. You've done the work, cleared the karma, paid the emotional taxes. Now it's time for the refund. The universe is not giving you a miracle out of pity, it's simply returning what's yours. The waiting, the false starts, the long nights, they were all down payments. And now, the account is releasing funds, not just in dollars, but in momentum, opportunity, and expansion. This is not charity. This is divine compensation. When the call comes, literally or metaphorically, answer it. Say yes before your logic kills the magic. Let your optimism be the bridge between invisible intention and visible reward. Because in this grand karmic economy, the only real currency is trust. And Sagittarius, your trust, even bruised and imperfect, is finally about to pay off in full. You are not being given wealth, you are being entrusted with it. To fund not ego, but exploration. To remind the world that abundance and purpose are not opposites, they are dance partners. So keep your phone on, your mind open, and your laughter loud. The miracle is not coming from outside you, it's been orbiting your frequency, waiting for your permission to land. The countdown has already started, and the next 48 hours are your proof that cosmic timing, though often delayed, is never wrong. Here's the thing about receiving, no one really teaches us how to do it. We're trained our whole lives to chase, to strive, to build. To earn our worth through exhaustion, to measure our value by output. But when the universe finally says, "Here, take what's yours," most of us freeze. Even the best manifestors, the spiritual veterans who can visualize a dream house with one incense stick and a Spotify meditation, get caught off guard when their vision actually starts to materialize. Because here's the secret they don't tell you, receiving abundance is often harder than earning it. After years of grinding, praying, negotiating with destiny, and pretending you're fine when you're quietly terrified, the sudden arrival of what you've always wanted can feel unsettling. You start asking suspicious questions. Why now? What's the catch? Did the universe misdial? That voice in your head, the one that doubts joy, that second guesses ease, that's not intuition. That's the old survival mind, trying to tag along for an adventure it no longer belongs on. It doesn't understand peace because it was trained in struggle. Don't let it drive. Receiving, Sagittarius, is not weakness. It's an act of trust, a cosmic handshake between you and the divine. It's you saying, "Okay, I'm ready to live without apology." In Buddhist psychology, there's a concept called non-grasping, and it might just save your sanity during this transition. Non-grasping doesn't mean rejection, it means you can hold beauty without crushing it. You can let abundance flow through you without clinging to it like a life raft. Because when you start clinging, fear sneaks in through the back door, the fear of losing what you've gained, the anxiety that prosperity might vanish if you exhale too loudly. The key is to remember that money, opportunity, and success are just tools, not trophies. They don't define you, they amplify you. They are your megaphone, not your identity. The louder the megaphone, the farther your truth will travel. That's the whole point. The universe didn't choose you so you could hoard wealth, it chose you so you could broadcast wisdom. Now, about this blessing that's landing in your lap, let's talk about who's really behind it. Because, Sagittarius, this isn't just a one-person production. There's ancestral energy all over your chart right now. The veil between you and your lineage is paper thin. Someone from your past, maybe a grandparent, maybe a spiritual ancestor who lived lifetimes ago, has been working overtime on your behalf. Their energy feels like that of an elder traveler, the kind who's walked barefoot through scarcity and vowed that you would never repeat that cycle. You might not know their name, but you felt their guidance, the unexpected intuition that saved you from a bad deal, the strange coincidences that nudged you toward the right person, the way opportunities keep rearranging themselves just in time. These aren't accidents. They're orchestration. Picture the universe as a giant chessboard. Your ancestors have been quietly moving pieces while you were worrying about pawns. They've been aligning events, influencing decisions, and whispering ideas into people's dreams to open doors for you. The abundance coming your way is part of their unfinished mission, the completion of a story they started but didn't get to finish. When this blessing arrives, don't rush past it. Honor them. Light a candle, say their name, whisper your gratitude. If you don't know who they are, just say thank you anyway. They'll hear it. Because this isn't just about your personal freedom, it's about generational healing. You're not only breaking a financial ceiling, you're repairing an ancestral timeline. When you receive this abundance, a ripple of liberation moves backward through your family line. Those who once prayed for a better life through you are finally exhaling. And as you stand in this moment of transformation, you'll notice something else shifting, the story you tell yourself about money. That old narrative that whispered, wealth corrupts, success is shallow, freedom is for people who fit the system. That story has expired. You've been carrying it around like a superstition, but it's time to drop it. What's rising from those ashes is what I call the financial phoenix, a new identity that marries spirituality with success. You're learning that enlightenment doesn't require a vow of poverty, and prosperity doesn't cancel out compassion. You can meditate and monetize. You can be soulful and successful. You can chant a mantra in the morning and check your investments at night without hypocrisy. The modern mystic doesn't have to live in a cave, sometimes they have good Wi-Fi and a vision board. And if anyone dares suggest otherwise, that your spiritual integrity is somehow compromised because you enjoy nice things, just flash that classic Sagittarius grin. The one that says, "I'd debate you, but my flight leaves in 10 minutes. Because your abundance isn't a cage, it's a passport. You're not earning money, you're earning momentum. Every dollar, every opportunity, every new door is fuel for your freedom. You're not collecting possessions, you're collecting possibilities." Now, speaking of doors, the magician has entered your energy field, and he's making quite the entrance. He's not subtle, he's practically shouting, "Participate!" Because here's the thing, Sagittarius, the universe has set the table, but it won't spoon-feed you. The manifestation is real, the stage is built, the lights are on, but you have to show up. The magic won't happen while you scroll. It happens when you act. That means checking every inbox, answering that odd email, following that gut instinct that says, "Go there." Miracles often disguise themselves as mundane errands, but the wise recognize the shimmer beneath the ordinary. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, before your phone hijacks your consciousness, take a deep breath and say out loud, "I am open. I am ready. I receive my miracle today to fuel my greatest quest." Don't whisper it like a timid prayer, declare it like a promise. Feel the weight of those words anchor into your reality. That vibration, the one that says "I'm not hoping, I'm preparing," that's what keeps the cosmic current flowing. And once it flows, Sagittarius, it doesn't stop. You're not waiting for the universe anymore, the universe is waiting for you. It's been holding your blessings in queue, ready to deliver the moment you align your energy with readiness. So yes, keep your feet on the ground, but your heart in the sky. Because this isn't just about manifesting wealth, it's about mastering receptivity. You've learned how to survive, now you're learning how to allow. You've carried your ancestors' prayers long enough, now it's time to let them carry you. Receiving is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a freer one. The real miracle isn't the check, the opportunity, or the timing, it's the version of you that finally believes you deserve them. That's what this phase is really about. Not luck. Not coincidence. But readiness. When you step into that energy, Sagittarius, you stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Of course me." Because for the chosen ones, and make no mistake, that includes you, the universe doesn't just give rewards. It gives responsibilities disguised as blessings. You were chosen not just to receive wealth, but to redefine what wealth means. And once you do, the flow never ends. Now let's get to the part where things truly start to sparkle, Sagittarius, the ripple effect of prosperity. You see, your abundance is not a solo performance, it's an ensemble symphony conducted by the universe itself. When the cosmic gates swing open, and they will, you'll quickly realize this was never about money alone. The universe has appointed you as what I like to call a distributor of light. You weren't chosen to hoard wealth but to multiply meaning. Your newfound prosperity is designed to ripple outward, touching people, places, and possibilities you've yet to imagine. This wealth is oxygen for your higher purpose, it funds your art, fuels your travels, supports causes that move your heart, and inspires others to believe again in what's possible. The cosmos doesn't reward greed, it invests in generosity. And Sagittarius, the universe has audited your soul and found it perfectly capable of handling both power and humility. That's a rare combination. So when abundance begins to pour in, and it will, tether your heart to purpose. Let your wealth remain fluid, like the fire you carry inside. Don't turn it into a monument, turn it into momentum. Remember, this is not just currency. It's permission to dream bigger, explore wider, and teach deeper. This isn't about consumption, it's about contribution. The chosen ones don't just receive miracles, they circulate them. And that's what you're here to do, to keep the energy moving so it doesn't stagnate into ego or fear. The more you give, the more the universe trusts you with. But, of course, life has its sense of humor, and you, Sagittarius, are the Zodiac's favorite punchline. Let's take a breath and appreciate the cosmic comedy in all this. You, the sign that preaches patience to everyone else, have been sitting in what felt like the universe's longest layover. You've been pacing the terminal of destiny, waiting for your flight to abundance, occasionally checking the departure board just to see the same flashing word, delayed. You even reached that point of surrender, bought a bad coffee, scrolled aimlessly, told yourself, whatever, maybe I'll just sleep on the floor of fate's airport. And that's precisely when the announcement comes, gate change, your abundance is now boarding. You might laugh, shake your head, and mutter, of course this happens now, when I finally stopped obsessing about it. That's divine humor at work. The universe loves impeccable comedic timing. It waits until you've let go of control, until you've stopped refreshing the manifesting app of your mind, and then it delivers. Because the joke has always been that surrender is the password to manifestation. And you, fiery philosopher, are finally in on the joke. Now let's talk about one of the hardest but wisest parts of success, silence. When your miracle arrives, and it will, resist the instinct to broadcast it to the entire world. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your blessings. Some will clap sincerely, others will smile while secretly tallying their own disappointments. Protect your peace. The wise archer doesn't announce every arrow he draws, he lets the results speak. Keep your initial success private until it stabilizes. Don't mistake external validation for spiritual grounding. Share your victories only when they've matured into lessons, not when they're still seedlings. When you do speak, let it be in the language of empowerment, not proof. You have nothing left to prove, Sagittarius. You are not auditioning for approval, you are performing alignment. And as you rise, make sure you're surrounded by those who clap without calculation, the ones whose joy for you doesn't shrink their own light. This transformation you're experiencing is not a quick spark, it's a long, steady flame. You've entered a new rhythm where money flows with purpose, not panic. Where opportunities find you instead of the other way around. Where your dreams are no longer budgeted by your fears. The days of scarcity mindset are behind you. From now on, your abundance moves like your soul, bold, generous, and impossible to contain. You'll fund journeys that shift perspectives, projects that awaken hearts, and ideas that outlive you. You'll teach wisdom that earns wealth and share wealth that generates wisdom. And somewhere in that balance, you'll stumble upon what Buddhists call santosha, a state of contentment that isn't tied to circumstance. It's not the ecstatic high of achievement, nor the complacent sigh of comfort. It's that sweet, steady knowing that you are enough, right now, exactly as you are. That's the real luxury, peace that doesn't need a receipt. As this era of prosperity unfolds, remember that this isn't just a financial upgrade, it's a spiritual initiation. You've graduated, Sagittarius, top of your class from the University of Financial Struggle, summa cum laude, with a major in perseverance and a minor in divine timing. The diploma? A life that finally feels as expansive as your imagination. Every sleepless night, every time you thought the universe lost your address, every effort that seemed to vanish into thin air, all of it was data being processed, quietly uploading into the cosmic mainframe. Now the system is ready to deliver your download of grace. You are about to experience what philosophers call the convergence of effort and grace, that rare and magnificent moment where what you've done and what you deserve finally meet in the same place. When it happens, it won't feel like winning. It'll feel like coming home. So breathe deeply, Sagittarius. You're standing at the threshold of your next great chapter, and the 48-hour window of alignment has already opened. The year of triumph 2025 isn't a far-off prediction anymore, it's a living frequency, and you've finally tuned to it. This is the moment when destiny stops whispering and starts shouting through every aspect of your life. You are not lucky, you are aligned. You are not chasing miracles anymore, because you've become one. And above all, remember, you are, and have always been, one of the chosen ones. The universe has spoken your name into motion, Sagittarius. Now it's your turn to live like you heard it. Let this abundance not make you louder, but clearer. Not heavier, but freer. Spend boldly, give kindly, travel widely, laugh deeply. Don't just earn a living, earn experiences. Don't just collect money, collect meaning. When your wealth becomes a reflection of your wisdom, you'll realize you were never just building a career, you were building a legacy of expansion. And before we close, let me speak directly to the explorer within you, the one who never stops asking, what's next? What's next, my dear Sagittarius, is joy. Real, unfiltered, debt-free, guilt-free joy. The kind that comes from knowing you've survived the storm, not to stay safe, but to dance in the rain. This is your time to enjoy what you've created, to taste the fruits of your labor without apologizing for sweetness. You've earned this chapter, not through luck, but through grace, grit, and an unrelenting belief that the light would eventually find you. So go ahead, savor it. Take that trip, start that passion project, invest in your own peace of mind. Be as generous with yourself as you've been with everyone else. And as this energy continues to ripple outward, remember to send a little gratitude back to the stars that choreographed it all. And if this message resonated with you today, if it stirred something deep inside that whispers, yes, this is my moment, then I invite you to keep walking this path with me. Like, share, and subscribe to Zodiac Talks Tarot, where we don't just read the cards, we read the soul behind them. Every week, we dive deeper into the art of living aligned, loving fearlessly, and laughing at the universe's exquisite timing. Because here, we don't chase miracles. We learn how to become them. Welcome to your year of triumph, Sagittarius. The arrow has been released. Now, let it fly.